Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Audio bandwidth for the Daily GizWiz is provided by Winamp. Subscribe to the Daily GizWiz and all your favorite podcasts with the ultimate media player. Download it for free at winamp.com. Video bandwidth for the Daily GizWiz is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com. It's time for the Daily GizWiz with Mad's maddest writer, Dick DeBartolo. This is episode 1237 for Tuesday, December 7th, 2010, the Sonos Wireless Dock 100. The Daily GizWiz is brought to you by Ford and the new 2011 Ford Edge. It grabs attention as well as it grabs the road and features available My Ford Touch to connect you to your vehicle in new and innovative ways. The 2011 Ford Edge. Drive one this week at a Ford dealer near you.
And now, get ready for Dick.
Hey, Dick DeBartolo, Mad's maddest writer, and the GizWiz. You know, we can't stop it, but we can just limit it to one day a week. We're talking about Turn the Table Tuesday.
Leon looks under his desk to find some crap to share. Dick says, let's fork away. It's Turn the Table Tuesday.
Hello, Dick. How are you? How are you? How are you?
I'm super fine, Leo, and you?
I am well, feeling fine and fine fettle, as they say. Even though I've consumed huge quantities of coffee today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I won't be sleeping tonight.
Well, you're not standing on your desk anymore, so that's a good sign.
No, I'm on the other side. Now I'm crashing.
Oh, okay. Okay. And have you put your pants back on? Because I noticed the guest left in a hurry.
He crawled out of here.
Yeah.
We really brought him to his knees, as we do with everybody on this. So my gadget today is kind of a continuation, an add-on, if you will, to something I've talked about before. Do you know about this?
A nail for the 2x4?
Yes, a nail. I still haven't done the 2x4.
No.
Yeah, I'm holding it back.
Yeah, good.
You remember me talking about the Sonos Zone Player, the S5, right?
Yeah.
Love that. In fact, I think they, I don't know if it's still on, but they had a really good deal on the Sonos. If you bought 2 speaker systems for it, you would get the free bridge. And that's what I use. So let me explain what it is, and then I'll explain what this new accessory is for the Sonos Zone Player S5. The S5, the idea is, you know, in the old days, if you wanted music in every room and you wanted different songs in every room, you'd spend a lot of money on built-in speakers and elaborate systems, and it was thousands of dollars. Well, this gives you all of that capability wirelessly based on your wireless network. So you buy a Sonos S5 speaker. Now, they're not cheap, but they sound really good. They're $399 each. And you can put one in each room. So that's what I did. I got the Zone Bridge, which is $99, and you connect that up to your Ethernet, and that creates a wireless mesh network that all of the Sonos speakers then use. So it's not using your Wi-Fi; it's actually using its own network, which is actually a good idea because I mean it doesn't get impeded by the bandwidth that you're using and so forth. It's also encrypted AES, so nobody can hear your music. And it's peer-to-peer, so each of the Sonos stations extends the Zone Player throughout the house. So you can go on and on and on. Now, the Zone Player itself, the speaker, just plugs into the wall. It doesn't have anything else. They have them in black and white. You could plug a device into it and use it as an external speaker for your iPod or whatever. But it sounds great. It's stereo. You can actually use 2 of them if you wanted to have better stereo separation. I've used them for parties. You can turn them up quite loud. What's nice about it is the Sonos software, which you could put on your PC, your Mac, your iPhone, or your iPad, becomes this great remote control. You could play any music on any of your iTunes systems, but you can also play Pandora. They now have Wolfgang's Vault, which is a really incredible collection of concerts live concert performances, just a ton of music. I usually use Pandora on it, but I also can listen to internet radio stations. And so my local stations come in much better on the Sonos than they do on my regular radio, because up here in Petaluma, we don't have great radio reception. So it's just it's a great solution for somebody who wants to put music in every room of their house. And by the way, one of the real advantages of this is you can have all of the speakers play the same thing, or they can each play something different. So I could be listening to, a Pandora station in one room. Jennifer can be listening to an audiobook in another room. It's really great. And I have to say the software is just fantastic. But one of the things that was kind of missing that I would have really liked is the ability to take the Sonos player and plug my iPod into it. It doesn't have a dock. So I was very pleased when Sonos released their Wireless Dock 100, which is designed for the Sonos player. You plug it in to the wall, and like all the Sonos stuff, it doesn't have any additional wiring. It's wireless. You put your iPhone into the Sonos player, it docks, it charges, and then you press this button, and it connects it up to the Sonos system. Now I can play content from my iPhone or iPod on any of the speakers anywhere in the house. And one of the nice things, I put this dock next to in the bedroom next to my bed because I'm going to bed and I want to charge my phone. I also have a Sonos system that I use as an alarm clock. By the way, it makes a great alarm clock. And you can say which of your speakers is the automatic player for this. So if you're listening to some music, I get out of the car, it stops playing on my car system on my Ford Sync. It continues to play on the iPhone as I go into the house. I dock the iPhone in here, and it starts now playing through the Sonos speaker, which is so you never are without your music. It's really fantastic. So this is the Wireless Dock 100. They just released this, and I think it was like one little piece that was kind of missing from the whole thing, and I'm really glad that they decided to release it. It's $119 list. Shop around. I'm sure you can get it for less than $100. Very handy. If you don't have a Sonos system, you should look at it. They do have holiday specials. I think they're Black Friday specials. You get 2 speakers, you get a free bridge. But I really think that they do a nice job. iPhone and iPod compatible. And you know how sometimes when you dock an iPhone, it says, "Oh no, you can't use your iPhone with this. It's not configured." This one is, so you don't get any of that brr, brr, brr sound. It works with 1st, 2nd, and 3rd generation iPod Touches, the iPod Classic, 3rd, 4th, and 5th generation Nanos, the iPhone 4, the iPhone 3G, 3GS, and original iPhone all work in this. They all charge, they all dock, they all play the audio back. It's a really great addition to your Sonos system. And I love that. I have now, how many speakers am I up to? 1, 2, I got bedroom, I've got one in the living room, I've got one in the kitchen, and I've got one upstairs in my office. And now the next one is one out in the outside on the patio for my my hot tub. It really is great. Yes, it is charging, and it is playing dock, charge, play everywhere. A great accessory for your Sonos system if you have an S5 zone player. I guess it would work with any of the Sonos systems. They don't specifically say the S5. Have you ever played with the Sonos? I know you're a Bose guy.
Yeah. I heard the Sonos at a press event. They're very nice. They sound great.
They're very much like the Bose. $399 seems like a lot, especially for something that doesn't dock. Now it has a dock. But I think given the sound you get and the flexibility you get, these are really great solutions. The sound is excellent. You can bond 2 of them together to make a stereo solution. They're stereo. They have, 5 or 6 speakers in them. They're 5 drivers, including 2 tweeters, 2 mid-range drivers, and a subwoofer. So you get great bass. It sounds a little bit like the Bose, radio system that they have. And you can control it all from your iPhone or iPad. Really a nice choice. So that's my pick of the week. And I've been
Sounds good to me.
Happily using this. I love it that I can be listening to my audiobook, get out of the car, dock the phone, and now I continue to listen to the audiobook. Oh, also good you can use your iPhone alarm system for that as well. Although the Sonos software has really good alarms. That's how I wake up every morning. And I really like that. Hey, before we get our letter of the week, let me remind everybody to drive the Ford Edge. Have you tried the new 2011 Ford Edge? What a great vehicle. I'm blown away. It's the most sophisticated, technically, vehicle Ford has ever made. Everything from that incredible engine the TI VCT V6 engine, which it really advanced engine, 285 horsepower for a 3.5-liter engine, 27 highway miles per gallon, so it's very economical and just fun to drive. I took a test drive at Blog World, and I got to drive around Vegas, and it was so much fun. It also has a lot of nice standard features, a beautiful exterior. You can see it right here if you're watching the video. The instrument panel, the center stack, the door trim, and the shifter all look fantastic. The fit and finish, when you close the door now on these new Fords, my Mustangs like this, it's such a solid sound. You know this is a well-made car. And by the way, if you're looking for a car that can seat a bunch of people but also has good, comfortable seats in the second row, this has the best second row legroom in the business, in the class. It's just fantastic. The Vista roof available, the ambient lighting, and of course, my Ford Touch, which is Ford Sync on steroids with the 8-inch screen, the 2 screens behind the wheel. You know, the great hands-free calling, the 911 assist, the turn-by-turn directions, of course, complete control of your music device, 2 USB ports and an SD card slot. And the best part is you keep your hands on the wheel, the eyes on the road, and you can do anything. You are connected. It'll even read your text messages to you if your phone supports it, which, by the way, all the Android and the new Windows Phone 7s do. Take a look at the Ford Edge. Test drive one this week at a Ford dealer near you. You can thank me later. You'll be glad you did. But don't go there and test it unless you're sure you want one, because I'll be honest with you, you're going to fall in love.
Here come the GizWiz letters now. Here come the Giz. I said the GizWiz letters now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I got a long letter from, I hope I'm saying this right, Brahm Shatia, who writes, Dear Dick and Leo, I've been catching up on the latest 250 GizWiz episodes. That's a lot to listen to in one sitting.
Yeah.
I know, because I do that many every week, or it just feels like it. I have several thoughts I wanted to share with you. By the way, I'm typing this using Dragon Naturally Speaking. He's speaking this email. I have to say it's pretty amazing. It takes a different way of thinking to dictate this way. I'm noticing that when I type, I have a lot more time to think about what I'm writing and edit at the same time. When you're dictating, it's true. It's like it's like you're giving a speech. You have to, kind of think before you speak.
Well, we do that all the time here, don't we?
No.
No, I think you did think once. I think it was in episode 209.
I only needed to once. Now, first of all, Buck. When I was in elementary school in Montreal, I used to play Buck with my male classmates in the playground. Try to imagine a team of scrawny Jewish kids running and jumping onto the backs of the other team and were bent over to form a long human chain. It was pretty bizarre. So we've talked about the fact that Fat Albert played Buck, and he actually gave us the Rhapsody link to it, so it is on Rhapsody if you have Rhapsody. He also says, when I was a kid, my father used to buy me small paperback books that were compilations from Mad Magazine. Imagine my surprise when I bought a new book that had a cover that was totally different from all the other ones I bought before and discovered I already had what was inside. He says...
Well, there were two kinds of Mad books. If it had the word anthology in the title, then it was old material repurposed.
He said, imagine my disillusionment. My disillusionment to, at a young and impressionable age, to discover that Mad was just reprinting old books and slapping on new covers. One more thing, he said, we were talking, actually several more. This is the world's longest letter.
Yes, I know. I know.
You know, why don't you take half, I'll take half. You guys were talking about Charles Schultz. I remember a series of peanut strips in which Snoopy was going to Petaluma, that's right, for an arm wrestling contest. Only
wait a minute.
He couldn't enter because he didn't have thumbs. Have you read this letter?
You know what? I remember the thumbs thing. I think I did.
Did you mention, speaking of no thumbs, that in the bagel guillotine episode, one of the ways that people cut themselves is by holding the bagel in the palm of their hand and cutting down into their hand?
Yes, cutting down. Yeah.
Ow! Yeah. Ow! Well, then you probably read this paragraph. And while Leo was apologizing for several weeks after reviewing The Streamer, I kept thinking...
No, I didn't read that part. Go ahead. It was so long, I just read selected excerpts.
Yeah,
so this is good.
excerpts.
Now we got the rest of it. Go ahead. And there's enough left for next Tuesday.
This is a
Go ahead.
rerun letter. This is like that Mad Magazine book you bought. Different cover, same contents.
Yeah, it's the same letter, but two different people are reading it.
Exactly. I think that's different. I kept thinking that while the technology might be pretty sophisticated, the product, the streamer, has a major problem. I mean, how many people have their computers in the same room right near their sound systems? Most people would either have to run a really long USB or RCA cable between the two, and that would make for a pretty messy install. Well, at least in response to that part of the email, I have nothing to say about the rest of it. But in response to that part of the email, no, the fact that even if you get it a few feet away, that's sufficient because, as you probably know, the power varies with the inverse of the distance, the square, the inverse of the square of the distance. So it rapidly decreases, very rapidly decreases. So even a couple of feet away, you're getting virtually no RF interference. So it's even a few inches separation is infinitely better. So that's that. Now I'm not going to say any more because apparently already the chat room is saying, lobster, lobster, you've jumped the shark. Get out of the business. Retire. Lobster, lobster, they hate me. Editor, please cut here, says Fugshugi. Pinhead says, recycled listener letters. It's getting bad. Big Guy says, slow news day. Fushugi says, ha, ha, ha. Leo has lost his mind. Leo is getting old. All right, I can take a hint. Screw you. I'll be here.
DAILY. It's the